Right. I'll let you know. So I wanted to give you a quick rundown. I think you guys know most of the information. I think the media has done a great job of keeping the community informed and keeping the rumors to a minimum, making sure people had real facts. We appreciate that. Lieutenant Governor went up to Boulder earlier today. He's on his way down to Manitou Springs now. We've got a number of National Guard helicopters and high clearance vehicles that are cleared for action, depending obviously the helicopters on visual assessment. We don't want to put any of our first responders or our safety personnel in harm's way. We have the State Emergency Center has been activated to a level 3 category of alert or action 24/7. So they'll be providing direct resources across the state to the counties affected by the flooding. I want to give you a list of the resources now in a couple of these counties. Boulder County's got, through the National Guard, high water rescue force packages, 7 of them. They've got 2 Blackhawks for search and rescue. They've got 3 Swiftwater rescue teams. They've got a search and rescue team from the Colorado Task Force 1. Emergency field managers. They've got 2 of the emergency field managers and a fire management officer. And Larimer County has a Blackhawk for the search and rescue and 2 field managers from the Office of Emergency Management and 1 fire management officer. We have declared it was a disaster for the flooded areas and requesting emergency declaration from FEMA for search and rescue and emergency protection and other support as it may be. Doug Gore is here, who is the regional administrator for FEMA. We don't use the word acting around here. Is the regional administrator, and we've been working with him this afternoon to make sure that we get the forms filled out so that we can get something in front of the President Obama as rapidly as possible. So that's basically the status of what we know now. Kevin Klein's behind me, who runs our emergency team, and then Roxanne White, my chief of staff, of course. Questions? Oh, good, that was easy. Well, there are certain thresholds. I'll take a stab at this, and Doug can talk. There are thresholds to make sure that this is a real emergency and a real disaster. And I think when we look at this, just from the information we have so far, there's little doubt that this is going to be classified at that level. A lot of it's about public infrastructure. How many millions of dollars you've lost to public infrastructure, and you guys have all shown the video. I mean, how many bridges and culverts and homes, and we've got wastewater facilities. We've got all kinds of. I mean, it's going to take us a while to rebuild from this, without question. You want to add to that, Doug?
Basically, we want to make sure that all of the emergency needs, those life safety issues and factors are being addressed at this time. The emergency declaration helps us to supplement what the state and local governments are doing at this time. And we certainly want all citizens to listen to their emergency messages and the emergency authorities, government authorities who advise them. We're still in the middle of responding to an emergency, and the emergency declaration will help us to further support the state and local governments.
Well, I think that it was requested by, not out of our office, but by somebody in downstream. And I think in this situation, they felt by the time they got the resources, the assets here, that they probably would be of sufficient value to make it worth the trouble. I mean, and I did not talk to anyone directly. That's, secondhand.
Governor, obviously, your folks train and prepare for large-scale emergencies. Have they ever prepared for anything this big? Do you feel like your people are prepared to deal with both what's going on now as well as the aftermath?
Sure, and I think, I worry. I'm not sure how much sleep Roxanne or Kevin had last night, if any. Right, they don't need sleep. Yeah, I think it's interesting. This is completely different from the fires, and yet preparation is trying to anticipate what you really don't expect. And we have been trying to train across the state for unexpected eventualities, things that we would never expect to happen. I'm not sure anyone laid out a scenario where Boulder County, in every single canyon from Coal Creek right up to Safe Brain, got, close to 8 inches of rain in a 24-hour period. We didn't anticipate this specific thing, but we've certainly been training on all manner of possibilities. So, and I think if you look in each of the counties, I think the response has been rapid. And again, when people went to bed last night, right, there were no big warnings on anybody's, or at least I didn't see any big warnings of flash floods or huge rain. This is one of those storms that just kind of came together in a way that, very rapidly just came and kept dumping water. Well, this, we'll see, but an awful lot of the damage here has nothing to do with burn scars, right? I mean, this is and we'll see what the data tells us, but this could easily be a 50 or 100-year flood, right? This is the result. I think the reason there hasn't been more loss of infrastructure and more loss of life is that go back to the Big Thompson flood, right? Ever since then, people have been talking about putting more wastewater. I remember when I was doing real estate development in Lodo, they would require us to have figure out some way, if we're going to cover over more ground with impermeable surface, we have to hold a certain amount of water for storm events, right? And they make every real estate developer all over the metro area has to do this, right? For just this kind of event. If we had this storm 50 years ago, I don't even want to think what would have happened to downtown and to, parts of Boulder and El Paso County. We are, again, a storm this size is going to cause severe consequences. But, that being said, there's an awful lot of investment and work that's been done over the last 50 years that has significantly diminished what we're going to have to rebuild. There's been offers, and we're trying to right now assess exactly what the necessity is for that. And, the great thing, Governor Matt Mead up in Wyoming, Governor Herbert in Utah, Governor Heineman in Nebraska, they are ready. Whatever we need, we have all kinds of support waiting to come. Part of the problem with us, it's not that we don't have the equipment or the manpower, it's just the conditions haven't permitted it. We couldn't get up the valleys.
Can you talk in any specificity about Lions and what the state is doing to make sure that the people there have what they need?
Well, again, obviously the priority is to make sure medical attention for those who need it. I'm going to be on these crutches for 8 weeks, but it makes you very cognizant, very aware of what other people, the kinds of, in a situation like this where all of a sudden there's high water, it's slippery, maybe people don't get into a safe place rapidly enough. We're trying to assess exactly what those needs are. You want to add anything to that, Kevin?
Kevin Klein. The only thing that I'd add is that we are getting vehicles in there to get some access. We've got communications in Lyons. So we've got some crews with the county that are in, giving us information. We're using National Guard to get access there. Our priorities are going to be, the life safety things, just like the governor said. We're going to make sure they've got food and shelter and any medical needs that are met. And then evacuate as appropriate and shelter as appropriate. So Boulder County's been working hard on that. We're working hard with them, and we're gaining access now.
Is there anything that we need as a state that we don't have?
Blue sky, right? 6 hours of blue sky. I don't think we're short. Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we're short equipment now. Our problem is really just getting access.
That's correct.
So, and it is one of the great things about this country is we have neighboring states that are very, very supportive of when we're in situations like this, and it gives you should give everyone in Colorado a sense of security that people in Nebraska, people in Wyoming, people in New Mexico in Utah, they care about our safety. They want to make sure that they can do whatever they can to help us. Thanks, everybody. Yep. Stay dry.